welcome to the biggest day of the football season that's outside of the football season. It's National Signing Day, and Tiffin University welcoming a ton of new football players to the Tiffin University campus. I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons, alongside Tiffin University head football coach Cris Reisert. Coach, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing awesome, Russ. Thanks again for putting this on.
Well, it's always a fun day to welcome in these new student athletes, and thinking about these kids signing today to tell that they're going to go somewhere for 4 years and be part of a program. Mm-hmm. Who's this more exciting for? Is it for you and the team? Is it for the kids? Or is it for those kids' families?
I think it's really a shared excitement. You know, we look at this day. It's literally a year's worth of work, mm-hmm. right? It's a year's worth of relationship building, getting to know kids, getting to know families, getting to know high school programs and where they come from, and then also introducing them to Tiffin. You know, the thing that I would say about our recruiting efforts is, one, our assistant coaches have done a phenomenal job of really kind of canvassing Ohio, finding some of the best young players, but more importantly, really good people that have great character and come from great families and great programs. And so those guys have done a tremendous job. The other thing I would say, the reason I believe we recruit so well is we've got a tremendous group of players. You know, we've got a great group of young men that obviously are good on the football field, but they believe in Tiffin, they believe in the vision of our program. Those are the guys that really embody our culture. And when recruits come on campus and they have the opportunity to be around our players and around our staff and at the university as a whole, we really believe it's just a different feel than anywhere else that you can go. And so I think those things coupled really make this class special. Then the third component you spoke about is the recruits, you know, and what a special day, you know, for these kids and their families.
So excited.
It is. That's I tell them when they commit. I said, man, enjoy the day, right? It's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of energy and blood, sweat, and tears, and it's mom and dad driving you to football practice when you were 6, you know, and getting you up to do your homework, and it's all these things that come together to build on this day. And so this is a cool day, and we're going to celebrate it, and it's like I'll tell them, it's the beginning of an amazing journey.
Right. You mentioned culture, and you mentioned high character young men, and you're bringing some high character young men into a group of high character young men. And can't look forward without taking a quick look back. You got to be awful proud of your football team this past season.
Yeah, there's no doubt. No, our growth was tremendous over the course of the 2019 season. Obviously, it culminated in a conference championship, which we're really proud of, and probably the best year in season history or in school history, which we're really proud of. You know, I think as you reflect on it, I think it's certainly because of the intrinsic things that are going on in our program, and it's the way that our players came together with our coaches and really able to build through relationships and through camaraderie a bond that was too strong to be broken, certainly until we got to the playoffs. But we're very proud of where we're at, and we're very proud of where we're headed.
You know, it was a fun time for me, too. I'll just go ahead. Right? Last season, Coach.
It was awesome.
You know, it's sad to see those young men leave. Those kids who gave their 4 years at Tiffin University. But when they leave, we got to replace them, bring in new young men. That's what this list is about.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about what the focus was when you were out there on the recruiting trail this year.
Yeah, and not to beat a dead horse, I mean, really the big thing for us, right? Good kids, good families, good programs. You know, and that's where it starts. We want guys that share the characteristics that our guys do in our program, and that they share those core values that we as a program have. And so that's where it starts. You know, and I believe that you can find really good football players that are really good people too. You know, and I believe we've done that. You know, from a football perspective, the big thing that we were looking for in this class was, one, we wanted to get longer and we wanted to get more athletic. Okay. You know, we were looking to find guys, especially on defense, that could run and hit, and that had some length that could cause some issues for an opposing offense. On the offensive side of the ball, you're going to see we signed quite a few offensive linemen. We wanted to be able to really start to kind of bring in the next crop of offensive linemen who are obviously going to add depth, but also have an opportunity to come in and compete right away. And Coach Johns has done a tremendous job with our offensive front, and we play a lot of guys in that position. And so being able to build some healthy depth and some healthy competition was really important there. And then you're also going to see on the offensive side of the ball, we filled some needs at tight end and receiver, which we're excited about. Found some really good kind of dual threat guys at tight end and some really good wide receivers that are, you know, two types of guys, space guys and outside guys, and we found both in a big way.
Well, the football season ends, the recruiting season starts, spring football right around the corner, and the start of the fall campaign will be here before we know it. Each year goes by faster and faster and faster. So before we get to spring football, let's go ahead and meet some of these young men that you're bringing on the campus. Let's start on the defensive side of football. Please. You mentioned the last thing you mentioned was the offensive line. So why don't we start at the football and work our way out as we introduce these young men. We're going to start with the defensive line. I'm going to introduce these young men. Coach Cris Reisert is going to tell you a little bit about each and every one of them. So let's get started. Defensive line from Austintown Fitch, Christian Armstrong.
Yeah, Christian's actually an interior defensive lineman for us. We see him fitting in probably at our nose guard position. He's already a big kid. He's about 295 pounds, built really sturdy. We were very excited about his ability from a strength standpoint, and also from an ability to get off the football and cause some disruption in the backfield. So we think he's going to be an immediate asset, especially with his size already in which he is. He's a guy that come in and really provide some toughness and some depth for us from the get-go.
We better be tough if you're playing in the trenches in this conference. That's for darn sure. Camion
Durr,
Durr, another defensive lineman. This young man comes to us from Lima Senior.
Yeah, Camion's awesome. You know, he did it right. He came and he camped with us, and so did Christian, and came on a bunch of visits. So we've really gotten to know Camion, gotten to know his family, as we did with Christian. And Camion's a defensive end for us. You know, we really see him as a guy that's going to be disruptive off the edge. He's got that twitch and that burst that you look for in the rush in the edge rushers. And he's a guy we think can be really dynamic. He's also got a great personality, got tremendous leadership potential, and we're excited to welcome him into our family.
Seems like those edge rushers are becoming more and more important every single year on the football field.
You know, the thing that we say all the time is you're never going to pass up a really good defensive lineman. You're never going to pass up a really good offensive lineman.
Nope,
you know, you can't find
there.
enough of them. So
that's even coming from a quarterback.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Tyler Householder from Bern Union, another defensive lineman.
Yeah, Tyler's a big kid. You know, he played a little bit of offensive tackle, a little bit of tight end, a little bit of defensive end. He's done a bunch, especially for his high school team, and he's a big physical guy that we really feel like his growth potential is yet to be seen. I think he's got a chance to really develop under Coach Price, our defensive line coach, and he possesses some attributes that are hard to find. He's got great size, great strength, big strong hands when he gets them on you, and so we think he's got a chance to be a really good player for us.
Our next defensive lineman we're going to mention is Robert Holtz. He's a defensive lineman from Springfield.
Yeah, Robert's been a fun guy to be around. We enjoyed having him on campus, and he's a guy that comes from a great high school program. Obviously, Springfield went to the national final, or went to the state Final Four this year in Division I, and so he's played in big games and in big moments, and he's a guy that will certainly come in and make us better.
It's always nice to get to see the guys you're bringing in get to compete in those big games and those big moments.
No doubt, there's no excuse for it. Ultimately, as a program, we want to be in those big games, right? And so when you have guys that have those experience already, it aids it when you get to those moments as a program here at Tiffin.
Isaac Lee, another defensive lineman. He's coming to us from West Liberty Salem.
Yeah, no doubt. Isaac's another guy that we think can be a really good player in the trenches for us. He's going to be an interior defensive lineman. I think he'll end up being a 3 technique, and he's a guy that will be an issue for guards in our conference that we think can do some really unique things.
Another defensive lineman, this time from Alliance, Nick Oldfield.
Yeah, no, we actually have Nick and his brother both signed with us from Alliance. His brother's a linebacker, Jeff, and we're excited about both of these guys. Got 2, which is awesome, and Nick's a guy that we think can be a little bit of a dual threat in the sense that he can stand up and he can also get in a stance and rush the passer and can be really good against the run. He's a stout kid, which we appreciate.
Versatility is always a nice thing to have in new kids.
Always, yeah. The more kids you have that can do different things, the more schematic advantages you can find, and as the defense coordinator, Coach B then has the opportunity to really kind of get into his creative side and really start to devise some unique things that you can only do with versatile kids.
Yeah, give the other side some headaches trying to figure out
no doubt. That's what it's all about.
From Hamilton, Ohio, defensive lineman Nathan Pratt.
Yeah, Nathan's 2 kids from Hamilton in this class, which we're excited about. You know, Coach Mahan's done a really good job there. You know, and Nathan's a guy, really a junkyard dog. You know, he's got an awesome mentality. He was born to be a defensive lineman. He's a kid that loves football, you know, embraces the physicality of it. And so that part makes us better, just that mentality. So we're really excited for him.
Our 8th and final defensive lineman in the class of 2020, Thomas Stiltner, defensive lineman from Bishop Reedy High School. Yeah,
great to get a kid from Columbus. You know, we're trying to really make inroads there, and Coach Horn, our recruiting coordinator and receivers coach, has done a tremendous job in Columbus, and Thomas is just an example of that. You know, he's a guy that's going to come up and again, coming from a good program, will be able to provide immediate assistance.
Right. All right, now let's move on to our linebacking core. We have 4 linebackers in our class of 2020. Let's start with John Butch, linebacker from Greenville.
Yeah, John's an interesting guy. You know, a lot of his film is actually playing receiver, you know, and so he's got tremendous ball skills. He's a really dynamic athlete, came and worked out as a linebacker for us and also has film in that capacity. And so really think he's a lone kid that can run and hit like we're looking for. Right. And he's a guy that's going to, you know, potentially moonlight at a variety of positions for us. But we're really excited about just his athletic skill set and what he's going to bring to the table. Again, versatility is so important, and John possesses that.
Well, if you play wide receiver, first thing that jumps out to my head, he probably has some pretty good feet.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Good feet, good hands, you know, and there's no substitute for that.
Yeah. Jesse Connell, linebacker from Amanda Clear Creek.
Yeah, Jesse's was one of the first couple commitments in this class for us, and he's been a guy who's been on forever. You know, he came to camp and did a tremendous job, and he's a guy that will be an true inside linebacker for us. He's a tall kid, 6'4", really good basketball player. Just a tremendous athlete. You know, I call him a ball and stick guy. He's got really good hand-eye coordination, and then you watch his film, and he's explosive, and he's a guy that can be a fixture in the middle for us. We think for a long time. So we're very, very excited for him.
Been after him for a while. I mean, hard work pays off. Huh?
Yeah, there's no doubt. No, Joe Horn did a tremendous job recruiting Jesse, and Jesse comes from good stock, comes from a great family. His sister's a really good basketball player too, and so I hear she's actually the best player in the family, and so
we'll talk to Jesse about that when he gets on campus.
We will. We'll take him. We'll take him. We're excited about him.
All right, from Walnut Ridge High School, linebacker Marshawn Mankins.
Yeah, another good hoops player. Marshawn's a really good athlete. You know, the first thing about Marshawn when you watch his film is he just flashes. You know, he is a physical guy. When he hits you, and you feel it. Right. You know, and he knocks you back. And really, the three guys that we're mentioning, right, between John and Jesse and Marshawn, they really fit what we were looking for in this class to a T. They all have length. They all can run, and they're all physical. Right. And Marshawn really is kind of a carbon copy of that. He's a 6'2" kid, long. He's going to get bigger and stronger, but naturally, he's an instinctive football player. First-team All-State kid. He's got a chance to be really dynamic.
Well, you mentioned this young man already from Alliance, linebacker Jeff Tauber.
Yeah, no, playing with his brother Nick. We're excited about both of them. You know, Jeff is a kid.
Who committed first?
I don't know. It was both at the same time. Coach Dirk did a good job with them. But no, the cool thing is you know, you're going to have two guys that come from good stock, and they're going to be here, and they're going to be able to do it together, and they're both going to bring. I think they have really high level football IQ, which we're excited about, and I think you're both really with Jeff. You're going to see him be able to play all three linebacker spots, which is huge.
Well, we talked about the big guys up front, the linebackers and the defensive linemen. So far, we've introduced you to 12 recruits on the defensive side. But now we need to talk about the guys who got to cover these talented receivers we see each and every week. And let's start with the defensive back from Mount Healthy High School, Alisson Diallo.
Yeah, Alisson, same thing. We've been on Alisson for a long time, and so to see his picture come through was pretty cool. We were very excited for that. Coach B did a tremendous job down in Cincinnati recruiting him. Comes from Mount Healthy, and he's a guy that certainly we've evaluated at every stage. We think he's got a chance to be a really dynamic lockdown corner for us. You know, same thing. He's long. He's a 6'1", 6'2" corner that can run. You know, ran a 4.53 at camp this summer, and so he's a guy that's got a chance, I think, to be an immediate guy that can come and compete and walk in and make us better.
It seems like wide receivers are getting taller and taller every year, so I'm almost, you know, makes sense that the defensive backs got to follow suit.
There's no doubt. No, you got to fight. You got to fight it, right? So you have to find guys that have length, and he's a guy that played receiver in high school, right? So you're talking about a guy that has ball skills that can also come over and cover those guys and has the length to be able to do that. It's really what we're looking for.
Devin Boykin, another defensive back. This time he's from West Clermont.
The thing about Devin, man, is he's a good football player. You know, you pop on his film and he plays offense, he plays defense, he returns kicks, he returns punts. It's everything you could want to see a guy on film do, he does. You know, and that's the thing about him here is he a safety, is he a corner, who knows and who cares?
He's a football
He's a
player.
good player, right? And he's a guy that's going to come in and compete right away. He's got a football mentality. He's a guy that loves to play. He's passionate about it. And we're really, really fortunate and excited that he's going to be a part of Tiffin.
All right, from Bedford High School, another defensive back, Andre Bethea.
Yeah, Andre is a guy that's going to play corner for us, and I think he's a guy that can be a really good player on the outside. It's like we always say, you can never find enough good corners that can cover guys who play a lot of press man on defense, and so to be able to have guys that can do that is a huge bonus.
From Chippewa Valley High School, Antoine Gunter, another defensive back.
Yeah, Antoine's a guy that came really early on a visit, and from the beginning we had a real connection here, and we're excited that he's going to be a part of Tiffin. We think he's got a chance to be a really dynamic kid, and we're excited to see him blossom.
Brandon Kelly, our final defensive back in the 2020 recruiting class, comes to us from John Hay High School.
Yeah, Brandon, he's got really good ball skills for a DB. You kind of see him moonlight all over. Plays a little corner, but mostly plays safety, some nickel. Does some different things on film that make him dynamic, and you can see he's got a really nose for the football, which I think is certainly something you want on the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely.
And there's no substitute for a guy that can just find it and play good football.
That is our 5 defensive backs on our defensive side. So 8 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. Let's go to the offensive side before we come back, and we'll close it out with our specials here.
Beautiful.
Let's go to the offensive side. We'll start again in the trenches. Our second biggest grouping here, 10 offensive linemen
Yeah.
here in the class. And that's a position where I don't think you can have enough athletes at the offensive line position.
No, it's like we talked about, right? When I got this job, like the biggest thing we wanted to do was build it from within, right? And so we wanted to build it on the defensive and the offensive fronts. And so my philosophy is you're never going to pass up good offensive linemen. You're never going to pass up good defensive linemen. You can never have enough, right? And so this is certainly an example of that. Coach Johns did a tremendous job recruiting the offensive front, and it's been a point of emphasis for us, and you've seen it really kind of come to light.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and meet these young men. First from St. Mary's in Michigan, offensive lineman Connor Badansky.
Yeah, Connor's been great. You know, Connor's a guy that Coach Johns has known for a long time. He's been coming to camp ever since we were at a previous school and gotten to know him and his family. And he's a guy that just fits us very well. We like his personality. We think he's a great fit for our faith family future football mentality. And he's a good football player too. He's a guy that can be an edge guy as a tackle, could be an interior guy. Kind of to be determined, but we love his versatility and think he's going to be a great fit.
From West Jefferson High School, offensive lineman Shane Baumgartner.
No, Shane's awesome, man. Shane came to camp and did a tremendous job. And since then, we've really been high on Shane. And he played center for West Jeff this year, and they had a tremendous year, best year in school history. And he was a first-team All-State kid, and really was kind of the guy that made it go up front. They ran the heck out of the rock, and Shane was a guy that really was able to provide that spark. And he's an awesome fit at Tiffin. Loves to hunt, loves to fish, and we got a bunch of guys like that.
You got a few like that.
We do. And so I'm excited for him and his family. But it's great to get a Columbus kid, and he'll be able to hit the ground running to provide immediate assistance for us.
If you want to play center, you got to have a little bit going on upstairs too. Absolutely.
There's no doubt.
All right, another offensive lineman, Keyshawn Flowers from Coffeyville via Toledo St. Francis.
Yeah, Keyshawn's another kid we met this summer and had the opportunity to watch him and evaluate him and really were impressed with him. We had a chance to see him in person, and he's got great feet, he's got great bend, he's got great instincts. We felt like he had some pop, and then you go and you watch his film at Coffeyville, junior college. Originally a Toledo kid, so there was some intrinsic advantages there, right? We're close to home, and again, we were able to build a rapport with him and got him over here, and he fell in love with Tiffin and what we were doing here, and so we're excited to have him. It's an older kid that's got 2 years of experience playing at the collegiate level, and he's going to be able to come in and be a little bit more advanced just because of his experience at this level.
Cortez Huckleby, another offensive lineman. This one's from Mount Healthy High School.
Yeah, Cortez and Allison, same high school at Mount Healthy. Coach Crouch has done a tremendous job down there. And with Cortez, the first thing that stands out is just a violent player. You know, he's a physical being. And I
can think of some quarterbacks and running backs that are happy to hear that.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. You know, and the thing about him is he's a great wrestler. You know, and he's a guy when he gets his hands on you, you know, you're not going anywhere. And so we're excited about the mentality and the edge he plays with. I think he's going to make those around him tougher, which says a lot about a young man. So we're very excited he'll be a part of our program.
Robert Medallion, another offensive lineman from Taft High School.
Yeah, no, we again, Cincinnati has been such a huge area for us, and it'll continue to be that way. Coach B's down there.
It's good football down there.
There's no doubt, right? It's my hometown, and so you know, we really, as you look at this class, Cincinnati and Columbus were huge, you know, and that'll be a mainstay for us. But with Robert Bobby, right? He's a guy that's got just unreal potential. You know, again, we saw him this summer and had a chance to work with him and had a chance to get to know him and his family. He's a really mature young man. He's got tremendous instincts as a protector, which I love, and he's a big kid. He's 6'5", 275 pounds, really athletic, was a basketball player earlier in the game, and he's got a chance, we think, just to be a tremendous football player moving on.
From Waynedale High School, James Reber, another offensive lineman.
Yeah, James is a big kid, you know, and comes from a great family. We're really excited for him. We think he can project as an interior offensive lineman, and he's got a really neat story, and we're just excited that he's going to be at Tiffin.
From Elida High School, another offensive lineman, Jordan Speller.
Yeah, Jordan was actually the first commit in this class.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so he was the one.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan. Right, he was the one that really kind of got the party started.
Excellent.
And you know, he comes from a football family. His dad's a coach. His mom's a basketball coach, a ladies basketball coach, and so he comes from a sports family. And you can tell in the way that he approaches the game, and he loves the game. You know, we're not exactly sure what he's going to play for us. I think we'll probably project him as a tackle for us. Bottom line is he's a good offensive lineman. He's a really good football player, and he's just a great kid, smart. So we're really excited that he got the party started, and he's kind of been,
Right.
been a Pied Piper in this class, which is awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, Keegan Barney, another offensive lineman from Medina Buckeye.
Yeah, Keegan's a great kid, great family. He's got a chance to have a really nice career here at Tiffin, and he'll project as an inside guy for us, be a center, maybe a guard, and see kind of how it plays out. But love his mentality, love that he loves football, and he really fits us at Tiffin.
Another young man from down in the Cincinnati area, Brandon Williams, offensive lineman from Princeton High School.
Yeah, Brandon's an interesting one. We followed him since his junior year, and it's amazing how much better he's gotten every level we've seen him at.
Excellent.
You see his junior film, you see him in the summer, you see his senior film, you see him in a workout, and his growth, it's exponential. So for an offensive line coach, for a head coach, like shoot, this is a kid that his best football's ahead of him. And especially the way he's going to be coached here and the way he's going to be developed here, we think he's got a chance to be a really dynamic football player.
Our 10th offensive lineman in the 2020 recruiting class, Antonio Williams. He comes to us from Toledo St. John's.
Yeah, another Toledo kid, which we're excited about. Thing about Antonio, man, is he's tough. He's got a great football instinct. He loves football. He competes. Comes from a high-level program.
Yep.
He's going to be a tremendous asset for us.
All right, now let's move to the gentleman who will be behind center in the offense for the Tiffin University Dragons, the quarterbacks. We're bringing 4 in the 2020 recruiting class. We'll start first with Cale Steneman, quarterback from Alter High School.
Yeah, Cale's a kid I'm really excited about. Cale sat behind a young man that ended up going to Missouri, so he had 1 year as a starter. And Cale's got tremendous athleticism. He's got really good natural arm talent, and he's really smart, and he's driven, and he embraces football. And so what I think you're going to see from Cale is you're going to see he's going to start at one level, and he's going to elevate so fast. And so really for us, that's what we look for. I want guys that are naturally talented. We're going to put them in our system. We're going to coach them, and we're going to make them better. And Cale is the embodiment of that. So we're really, really excited to get him here.
Seems like you're finding kids who have had a nice upward slope, and then you see that you can take them from there to that next level.
No doubt. No, and rarely are you able to get a finished product, right? And what we really look for are guys that have a love of the game. They're good kids. They have, like you said, an ability to work and get better and be coached. Mm-hmm. And we believe in our system. We believe in our development process, and we believe in how we're going to be able to coach them and train them in the weight room and feed them, and all those things are important.
Yep.
And we really believe that if we find kids that have that baseline of fundamental that we want, we can really help them grow and be as good as they're capable of being.
Another Central Ohio young man, another quarterback from Gahanna-Lincoln High School, Will Thomas.
Yeah, Will again, same thing. Will's got a strong arm. You watch him and the ball pops out of his hand. He's a really, really dynamic athlete. He's a guy that we really think can be a special football player. He's got a lot of things that you can't teach. He's a kid that's physical at the quarterback position. He can run, and he's got an arm that is really impressive. And so he's a guy that selfishly, him and Cale, man, I can't wait to get my hands on him and work with them and be able to mold them and help them be as good as they can be.
Another kid from not too far away from here, Napoleon High School, quarterback Andrew Warnke.
There's no doubt. No, we love to get guys that are kind of close, right? Yeah. And it gives us an opportunity to add fans, right?
You'll take good football players from anywhere as long as they're good football players.
There's no doubt. And there's a lot of great football around here, and so Andrew certainly is one of those guys. He's a really competitive kid. He's a great leader. I think he's just got a really, really good way about him, and so he's one of those kids that's not going to be outworked. He's going to come in. He's going to compete. He's got talent, and certainly he's going to find a way to kind of rise to the top.
Well, leadership, intangibles, those are, like you said, those are things that you can't teach. You have them or you don't. And it's nice bringing kids that.
In a lot of regards.
Our final quarterback in the recruiting class, he's a transfer from hockey, and he originally went to Lakota West High School. His name's Tony White.
Yeah, Tony's a kid that actually joined us in the spring, and he had been a kid that's played some football. He was a starter last year at Hocking College, big kid, and has a good arm and has an opportunity, I think, to come in and provide immediate depth for us. And we're excited to see again Tony's growth from square one to wherever he caps out. The sky's the limit, and so we're looking forward to working with him.
Let's move over to the running back positions now. 4 running backs in this class, same size as the quarterbacks. Let's start at Walnut Hills High School, running back Tyrese Dorn.
Yeah, Tyrese, again, somebody we've been following for a long time, and the thing I like about Tyrese is he's got tremendous balance. He's been wildly productive. He's been one of the more productive running backs in the state. He's got really good ball skills out of the backfield, and he's got an opportunity to kind of beat you in a lot of different ways. He had a knee injury this year that limited him in some things, and we're just excited to get him back to full strength and see what he can do once he's healthy.
Another running back from Springfield, Shawnee, Jaden Hall.
Yeah, Jaden's a big downhill back. We like those guys, and Jaden's a guy that we really think with his size and with his his strength and speed. He can be a guy that can really punish opposing defenses, and we're looking forward to see that come to fruition.
Yeah, one of those guys that teams don't like tackling come second half of the
There's no
football
doubt.
game.
Now in the fourth quarter, it becomes even more of a weapon,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. From Wayne High School, running back Devin Nelson.
Yeah, same thing. Similar to Tyrese, Devin, is a really unique guy in the sense that he can do a lot, right? He can beat you as a runner, can beat you as a catcher, can beat you as a blocker. Comes from a really good program in Wayne High School. He's been tremendously coached, and he's going to understand what it means to compete. He's got a really great personality, and you can tell football's important to him. He's got that instinct in him, and we just think he's a tremendous addition to Tiffin.
From Logan High School, running back Braden Spatar.
Yeah, excited for Braden. Looking forward to getting him here and getting him to work and getting the opportunity to kind of introduce him into our program, and think he's got a bright future. 4
running backs we just mentioned, 2 tight ends in the 2020 recruiting class. Let's move there now from Southeast High School. It is Connor Muldowney. Tell us about Connor.
Yeah, Connor, he played defensive end, played tight end. He's a 6'5" kid, 220-pound athlete, runs really good, catches the ball really cleanly. We think he's a guy that really can kind of be one of those, like I mentioned earlier, a dual threat kid in the sense that he can be a split out guy and can get open against corners or against safeties, can be a matchup guy there, can also bump in the box and be a physical and violent blocker. And so it's a area of need for us, and to be able to get a guy with that length and that production and that athleticism, we think is a big win for us.
From Worthington Kilbourne High School, tight end Duncan Self.
Again, really similar in that vein. With Duncan, he'd been a quarterback his whole life, right? And kind of coming into his junior year, put a little bit of tight end, then into his senior year, he really became kind of a full-time tight end. And so what you're going to see from Duncan is where he starts is not going to be where he finishes. He's a guy that loves football. He's a guy that really has a good feel for it, and it's amazing. You watch the senior film, he's got a chance to be a really good player. We just think when he gets into our system and gets with Coach Spencer and gets to be able to be developed as a tight end, you're going to see a real weapon.
All right, that's 2 tight ends in the 2020 class. We have the receivers left and our specialists. So let's now move on to our wide receiving core. There'll be 10 of these young men in this class, and let's get started from Reynoldsburg High School, wide receiver James Dean.
Yeah, obviously James comes from a great program. James came to camp and did a tremendous job. He's got a chance, we really think, to be a great player. He's a slot, can be an outside guy, has some versatility. The bottom line is he gets open, understands how to get open, understands how to play in big games. We're just excited for him. He's a multi-sport athlete, and we think he's got a chance really to be a high-level player.
Wide receiver from Northmont High School, Justin Golson.
Justin, again, was one of our earlier commitments, and the thing about Justin is he's got really, really good body control and burst. He creates separation at a rapid rate, which nowadays in the game of football, that's really what you're looking for. Their size and their speed, but guys that can separate at that position are so important. And he does that very naturally. He's got really loose hips, and he's able to create that space and catch the ball cleanly. We think he projects inside, outside. It doesn't really matter. He's going to be able to come in and provide an asset for us.
He'll be on the field.
Yeah, no doubt.
From De La Salle High School in Michigan, wide receiver Jack Herndon.
Yeah, Coach Spencer did a great job going up and recruiting Jack, and Jack's the guy, man, comes from a great program, good background. We really believe that he's going to understand what it takes to win. He's going to understand those little details that are needed to get open at this level, and he's going to really embody that and be able to go do what he does.
Another wide receiver in the class from South Central High School, Timothy Jays.
Yeah, Timmy's a slot for us, and looking forward to the big thing for him is he does a great job in space, and nowadays football is a space-driven game, right? And so being able to catch a football, make one guy miss, and hopefully make the next guy miss is such a huge weapon, and Timmy's a guy that can do some of that.
From Northmont High School, another wide receiver, Jazz Keys.
Yeah, we've been on Jazz for a long time. Jazz is a tremendous football player. Really likes football. It's important to him. He's super fast. He's going to be a 10.5, 10.6 kid in the 100, which is blazing. And on top of that, he's a good football player and competitive kid. And so we're really, really excited about him. Think he's got a chance to really kind of walk in and compete from day one due to some of the attributes that he possesses.
Sure. Central Crossing High School wide receiver Anthony Lowe.
Yeah, Anthony's a tremendous player too. Anthony's a kid that's been wildly productive at Central Crossing. He's got great film as a corner, a safety, a receiver. He does it all. Came and worked out. He had a tremendous workout. He's a guy that I think could project at 5 or 6 different spots on the field. And you'd be happy he was playing one of those spots. And for us in the short term, he projects as a wide receiver. We think he's got really, really high level potential, and he's a guy that, quite frankly, I'm curious to see how he competes as soon as he does when he gets in here.
Oh, excellent. Sycamore High School product, wide receiver Jordan McConnell.
Yeah, no, Jordan's one of those guys, man. You watch his film, and he never gets tackled by the first guy, and that's the thing I told him when we were recruiting him, man. It's different. It's unique about you know, and those guys are hard to find. He's got speed, he's got wiggle, he's got savvy, he's got understanding. Comes from a great high school program at Sycamore, Coach Satillo, and he's been coached in the right way, and he's been coached in a lot of the how-tos, right? They're big on the culture there, they're big on the character, and he's going to walk in, he's going to understand how we do things on day one, which I'm excited about.
Fenwick High School wide receiver Jordan Rucker.
Yeah, Jordan's a competitive guy, man. He's a multi-sport athlete. He's a guy that won't back down from anything. You know, he's got really high-level receiver skills. We think he's a tremendous athlete. Could project on the defensive side of the ball too. Comes from good bloodlines. Brother was a college athlete. Dad was playing in the NFL. We really believe that his top end potential is through the roof.
Back to Central Ohio, Hilliard Darby High School wide receiver Jack Stoltz going to be a Dragon.
Yeah, Jack's a bit unique. You know, Jack's a high school quarterback, was a 3-year starter in a triple option system, and had some crazy numbers. And we had a chance to, you know, in this off season, really kind of start to get some idea of what he would look like as a wide receiver. And it's amazing how natural he is as a wide receiver. He's a 6'4", 200 pound kid, so he's got the size that we want for an outside guy. And we're very, very anxious to get him up here and get him started.
Our final receiver in the 2020 recruiting class comes to us via the transfer from Kent State University, Trey Harrell.
Yeah, Trey was a really productive kid at Kent State. Played there for 3 years and did a tremendous job for those guys, and was looking for kind of a fresh start. And we're really excited he chose to do it here. Originally from New Orleans, and he's a guy that really feels going to come in and compete right away and really work hard and diligently to fill one of those open spots that we have.
All right, we have 4 more student athletes to introduce you here. We're flying through them, Coach.
Last but not least.
2020 campaign. We have a kicker, a punter, and a couple long snappers. Let's meet the kicker first. From Findlay, Ohio, Justin Wilcox.
Yeah, Justin from Findlay, Ohio. You know, brother actually plays at Findlay, so there's that nice natural rivalry that we've created. And Justin's a really accurate kicker. He's a great kid, comes from a great family, and we're excited to have him over here, man. It's going to be a fun journey for him.
Punter from Perrysburg, Ohio, Brady Young.
Yeah, Brady's got tremendous potential. You know, 1, he's a good directional punter. 2, he's a big kid. He's long. He's 6'3". We think he's got really high-level potential to change the field. You know, as he starts to get more consistent, you're going to see him, we think, really be a huge asset for us.
Yeah, a punter can be such a huge
There's
asset.
no doubt.
My goodness.
There's no doubt.
2 long snappers. One comes to us from Illinois, Dixon High School, Zachary Scheffler.
Yeah, kind of went out of state for this one. Long snapper is a big need for us, and sort of be able to find 2 proven guys that are really high-level guys like Zach and like both Zachs. You know, we're really excited for that and anxious to see how they progress.
And then from Hamilton, Ohio, our final introduction of the 2020 recruiting class, Zach Williams.
Yeah, same, man. We've known Zach since he was a junior, you know, and been camping for a while with us, and finally had the opportunity to sign him, you know, and came at a great time for us in the sense that we do need a long snapper, and Zach's a high-level one, and so we're very excited to have added him in this year's class.
When you look at this class in general, in a whole, give us a few words to describe this class as one unit.
Yeah, I think I would say dynamic, you know, and I would say competitive. You know, I think we've got a lot of dynamic playmakers in this class. I think we've got difference makers, and then I think we've got a wildly competitive group. You know, and you talk about guys that want to come in and guys that want to add immediate value, right? Come in and compete right away. And our program is competition based, right? Same thing we tell our older kids, we tell our younger kids. And in order to thrive in this program, you do have to come in with a chip on your shoulder, and you have to have that edge and that belief in yourself.
It's true.
And a lot of these guys have tremendous self-confidence, and you're going to watch them walk in. They're going to do it the right way, right? But they're going to have confidence, and they're going to come in and they're going to compete. They're not going to back down, and I think they're going to make us stronger as a football team. And the great thing about the kids that we have in our program is they relish that. You know, they want that. They want these kids to come into the program, bring that edge. They teach them that edge, and I think that's what makes us unique at Tiffin.
Well, you have champions in the locker room, Coach, and we're bringing in these other young men, so we can get another one of these.
You're in line.
Congratulations here. It was a great year this year, Coach, a great recruiting class we got coming in. Let's start stockpiling these.
You better believe it. That's the plan.
All right.
That's the plan.
Tiffin University Dragon 2020 recruiting class. going to be some more of these great Midwest Conference champions. He's Coach Cris Reisert, I'm Russ Snyder, and this has been our look at the 2020 class. We have spring ball coming up, spring game coming up, and then fall practice. The first game will be, it's all right there in front of us. Can't wait to get these young men on campus and get them in the green and gold.
Yes, sir.
Till the fall comes, 2020 football season, we will see you then. More information on Tiffin University Football at gotiffindragons.com.